So, in addition to helping your business grow by making it easier for customers to book online, rental management systems like Rentrax also eliminate a significant amount of your administrative overhead, specifically inventory management, invoicing, accounting, and reporting are all tasks that can be automated or will take significantly less time to manage than life without an electronic booking system like this. So let's start with the inventory management side. So this is basically your list of inventory here. So you have full granular control. You can see we're listing things SKU by SKU here. We can go in and edit things. So we can tell the system how much it costs. We can keep track of the serial number, which you might need for a police report if a bike gets stolen. Pretty easy to keep track of the things that get stolen with our statuses here. We can also keep track of what you have for sale, what's been sold, what's written off. You can schedule maintenance to keep track of when your bikes need to be serviced. And then you can view the maintenance report as well. This one's empty because it's just kind of a demo account. None of our bikes have actually been through maintenance yet, but it would appear here. If we go into the accounting side of things, so I think this write-off here would be like a good segue into accounting. It's kind of the link between inventory and your accounting. So if we go to this report here, the products report, you can see a bunch of useful information. If we check the write-off status in particular and set a date range, you could see what was written off in a particular month or quarter, and kind of determine kind of the value of the assets that you've written off in a given period. So you can see this is the same bike that we have written off here. If we want to see more, this report can provide us lots of cool information, though. For instance, we can see how much revenue a particular bike has produced for us. And this is useful to determine when the best time to sell a bike is, when it's provided a nice return, but it's still in pretty good condition and can fetch a high price. So that's one way to use this report. And just a side note, if you want to manipulate this data by yourself, you can always export it into Excel. Pretty much every report in Rentrax can be exported into Excel. But let's say you're not looking for information that's this granular. Let's say you're asking yourself the question, what part of my fleet should I expand? That's a good question. A good report to check out would be this category revenue report, where you can see, like, generally speaking, looks like my rental bikes and scooters are performing the best, as opposed to the rest of your inventory or categories. So maybe it makes sense to invest in another 25 bikes in this category, because they tend to be booked out and they're providing the highest return. So let's move on to something a little bit more granular. So let's get into a financial report. So you can go to your payments report and you can see kind of the total revenue in a given time period here, which is, of course, configurable. So if you want to see kind of your total revenue or just your rental revenue for a given time, you can easily manipulate this date picker. And then we break it down by payment type. Most of the time, you'll need to have more granular information than this. So you'll click into the details button and you can export this report. But yeah, you can basically see specifically what happened for each of these kind of orders and invoices. Now, we can even go one level more granular than this. And this isn't something all of our clients need, but some of them actually need to be able to see the history of every single invoice, which we can actually provide for you by showing the invoice history. So we say, it started off with 2 e-bikes, and it kind of itemizes every single amount. And then we can go to, maybe the customer called, or when they showed up, they said, hey, actually, we have a third person. We need to add, a mountain bike to this order. We can tell you exactly what was new. It's all itemized. The taxes are broken out. So you can get a full, perfectly granular history of everything you need. So that's kind of our financial reporting capabilities. And let's stay on the financial reporting aspect here. Let's say you got to answer the age-old question of how much taxes do you owe to the government. Well, I think we should probably go to the detailed revenue report here, and we can see every tax. If you have like a state tax and a county tax or what have you, you can see exactly how much tax was charged for every invoice and order. And of course, you can export this, but we provide you sums here. So this, and of course, the date range is configurable. So this makes it super easy to answer the question of how much tax do I owe the government? And I think that's probably a pretty good overview of just some of the basic, administrative overhead tasks that I just finished going through in 6 minutes with explanations. So you could probably do it in 2. Of course, I didn't have a chance to cover everything. All of our client systems work a little bit differently because the system's so flexible. So if you have any questions about anything you've seen here, the odds are pretty good that I'll be able to, check a few boxes, change a few drop-down menus, and get the system to account for things in exactly the way that you need. So go ahead and reach out to us at sales@rentrax.com or support@rentrax.com, and we would be thrilled to work on your business problems.